I decided that I was going to videotape this because it's easier to explain while I'm working and remembering all the details than to take pictures and type it all out on my website. And since this is an easy one, it won't take forever to do it. But I started with my base color, which is a simple gray, greenish, brownish color. Like I said, there's debris all the time, debris. You need your tweezers with you. So when you run into it, you can pick it out now and then. I'm starting with my needle felting pin with only 2 needles. I'm only doing the outline. On the outline, I am using the main base color of this toad. I can add outline to that later, or I can, you know, do all my other little details that I'll be adding to it. I like to start off this way sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll draw my art piece, cut it out, place it on here, trace it, and then work with that. But with the scarf, I really don't want any ink or anything showing through, so I'm just going to go straight with the fleece. But what's nice about it, it's not like drawing or painting. When I'm out of perspective, all I have to do is pick up the fleece and move it. I just make sure that when I'm doing my outline, I'm not needle felting it too hard into the fleece. Okay, now I think I pretty much got it where I want it. And then each time that I go around and I'm seeing that it's more and more in the shape that I wanted, the basic shape, I just get a little bit harder each time. See that I'm moving the fiber back and forth for the shape. Design outlined. Next, I want to add some white for the eyes. I think I'll just outline them, because I do want to add some kind of character to the eyes. Oops, I've got 4 pins here. One with 1 needle, one with 3 needles, one with 5 needles, and one with 2 needles. Sometimes I forget which one's which. I got the 2 needle right now, and I'm going to just go around here. Want to, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but this time I don't want to mix my black on top of the white. Open up the bag, get some black out here. I will for the light reflection, but I really don't want to on the white of the eyes. Just gently needle felting it in. You notice I'm not really pounding it. And then of course I have to circle so it doesn't contaminate the black. Okay, then I'm going to add the bottom of the eyelid. This will help me get some perspective. I'm just holding the fleece lightly, sort of pushing it down and pulling it out at the same time, as you can see, to make these lines. get a little white. Then I'm going to use my 1 needle pen, and I'm going to add a light reflection in his eye. And now I'm going to turn off the camera, clean this up a bit by adding some more white. I'll probably get a whiter white that I'm using because it seems just a tad bit dark for me. When you add the light reflection in the eye and you got 1 needle, you got to be really careful because when you push it in, it just wants to go all the way through. But here are the eyes of the frog now. A little brighter. Add some more color here. I ended up having to take off this eye completely and just with my tweezers and moving it to the left more and reshaping it. Get all my pins in place. But now we're getting some character to the frog. I'm going to take my 3 needle pen and I'm going to, I wanted to lay a bunch on and just start, but there's so much stuff in this fleece here that I'll be picking for a while. But I'm just going to lay this color in. I really don't think I want it dark on. I'm going to just put a light coating of this color. Okay, I now have the base color of the toad on here, and I didn't put it on too thick. As I work with it, I do move things to try to get it a little more perspective. Had him a little bit more spread out, but by the time I got done to this, I've got him brought in a lot more. Next I want to add some highlights and try that and see if I will like it. So I'm going to grab some light fawn. This will be a happy toad. And I'm only going to put it on lightly in certain highlight areas. He is going to have a smile, and these are his cheeks. So we'll add some here on both sides. Just right in the center, in like a half moon shape. This is just to break up all that solid color. Usually toads are lighter in the belly area, so I want to add some highlights in his belly area. I try to go in the direction of, in this particular case, the body. This is going to be between the toes. There's a bit of a triangle shape, kind of like a little bib, I guess they call them on cats and dogs. I want to do a little highlighting on his kneecaps, just on the top part where the sun might reflect. Bring it down to maybe where his kneecap might be. Feel like I got a little thick here, so in the direction of the fleece. Start again, kind of just spreading it out more. Making it look like it's a little more even. I take my 5 needle brush here and pat it down. Keep those fibers in place. Then we'll add some grass and cattails and some froggy dots or toad dots, and then that will be it on this one. Then we'll turn around and do the other side, and next we'll be picking and probably ironing. Okay, I am outlining it now, and I've gone down to 1 needle. All this was done with 2 needles, but now that I'm doing toes, I'm only using 1 needle. I want a little more control over this area to control the fleece where I want it to go. And when I needle felt with 1 needle, I don't go straight down. Not unless I want to push the fleece or something. I needle felt when I'm doing lines at an angle. I can just go like this, just touch the fleece a little bit, it grabs it, and then I have a small amount of fleece in my hands, and I kind of pull as I needle felt. To make my line. Of course, I might change my hand in a different direction to make circles, but I kind of drag and push, drag and push. And like that. Sometimes it's, you have to go over it to make sure that it doesn't drag with you. Especially around corners, you want to make sure that it stays. You gotta be careful when you're bending the needle not to snap it. Always be gentle. It will snap in half if you bend it. It's flexible, but it's not as flexible as you might think. Again, fiber starts drifting away. I do my little circle and bring them back into place where I want them to go. It's all about controlling where you want the fiber to go. And after you do this kind of stuff for a while, you just start getting a natural feel for it, I think. I've never done any of this stuff in my life before. Now that's it for now. Okay, so you can see I got the outline on the frog there. I'm gonna just finish off the coloring on its toes and add some spots to it, and then start working on the grass and the cattails. That's what it's coming into. That big blob of mess is actually turning into something. Okay, got the toes colored, and I added outlines for where I want my spots. I've got a lighter color brown here, and I'm just going to fill my spots. I outlined this clip art in black. You don't necessarily have to use black as an outline for your art. You can try different colors. I believe the last clip art I did was swimming turtles on a scarf similar to this, and I believe I outlined it in either blue or dark green. All my outlines were done that way. And I also outlined it, but because they were turtles, I used the background color as the shell color. So I really didn't have to fill that in, just like I would have if this was a green frog. I would have probably done the same thing. But since this is a toe, I'm going with darker colors. Dyeing, if anybody knows, dyeing fleece, or like when you're buying yarn and doing your dye lots, you want to make sure, when you're doing a project, you want to make sure you buy all your yarn ahead of time, because the dye lots can change from lighter or darker. And if you start a project with one color, come back and get that same color, you'll find your project has just changed it to 2 tones of that particular color you chose. While paints, when you buy them at the store and everything, remain the same. They have it down to a science. You can run out of paint, go buy another tube, and there you go. You're ready to pick up where you left off. So every piece is actually totally unique in that way. I've got one here. Like a mole on the cheek. Well, I believe I'm done with that froggy, or toady. I have to come up with a name. Next I need to gather my different color fleeces for cattails and grass. I don't think I'm probably gonna have I don't know, 3 or 4 colors. I'm not sure if I want to outline them. Darn the breeze. Where is that breeze? There's the loose hair. Oh, and another thing I wanted to show you was the styrofoam. You don't want the needle felt on them very hard, any of them. But when I peel this off, I don't get all the white stuff like I did on my foam thing, and that I still have to take out. But you can see that it's been needle felted. It worked out real well. Eventually this will start breaking down, especially the more you do it in one area. Eventually it starts doing the same thing this does. They all break down. They can't help it. You're cutting them up with needles. That's why I don't think there's really anything out there to really work. You're just going to have to keep a good supply of foam on hand. This stuff is probably the cheapest. And it's really good for using on big projects. Anyway, I'm going to go gather some fleece now. Okay, had to stop, gather fleece, and go feed chickens and stuff because it's getting late here now. But I got my fleece, so I'm going to use a green, a gold, and a brown. And I want to make grass and cattails. So I got my 2-pin needle, and I'm going to use this nice green here. I may have to put an outline, it looks like, because the colors just probably blend into each other on some of them. And I'm just going to do my line. Now, see, if you pull too hard, you can pull the fleece right out. So I like to stick a finger down there to keep the fleece from pulling out. And I have to get my tweezers. This little twig is there. Certainly would be uncomfortable. I may take a dark brown or black, and maybe I'll stay with black since this whole thing's flat, around the frog to outline this. Usually I make these decisions as I go, even though I may design it without it. When I actually see it on the piece, I might change my mind. Alright then, it seems my battery exhausted itself. I'll have to pick up new batteries. Hopefully I'll be able to download this and won't take too long. I keep breaking it off, the videotaping too, because downloading it does take up a lot of time. So I want to add some yellow to this too. A little darker than I've got going on in the background. This time I started at the top and I'm working my way down. That was at the time that cattails are like this. It's not when they're totally green. So we'll just do this just to look a little legit. Okay, now I'm going to just add a few in the background. Let's just do a yellow here. And we're going to end it obviously here. Oops. Because we're going to have that in front of this. You can hear my styrofoam squeaking. And then we'll bring it down here. That's how I put that in. I'm pulling it. And straightening it. And I got a little thin. I'm getting a little thin, so I just go back to my fiber, grab a little more, pull it up. To keep in mind on certain projects if you're doing grass, that usually the wind is blowing and grass may be all pretty much laying in the same direction. Now we're just going to pretend this little frog moved the grass out of the way. To get to his spot. Just pretend that light is glancing off the blade of grass, traveling down the stem, leaving the underside shadowed. And the third color would be a light color on top of the grass to show light reflection. Of course, you got your three basic colors: dark, light, and your neutral color in the middle. Black for lining and white for lining, but there's other colors you can use for shadowing and light. I prefer bright white light, obviously. I just love bright white. I'm gonna have you watch all of this. So I am gonna do some light colors. Let's use the same gold yellow, but we're gonna use that as our light source for the not cactus, cotton. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to use that for this. Cattail. I want to say cottontail. I don't know why I'm getting that. For the green grass. So when you're doing objects or things, do try, unless you're doing a clip art like this, do try to think of shadows if you like this kind of art. And I mean, if you're doing simple art like this, you can do just your basic dark color, medium color, and light color, and do try to make the contrast where it makes it stick out, so you can see this is sticking out. I'm going to bring this one down because remember, this is the one that's traveling down the stem. Plus I have a dark background right here which will help bring that out. You can play around with colors. Find out what you like best. Everything doesn't have to be earth tones. So that's it. I'm going to give you one final shot at taking a look at it. I'm going to finish it off. I'm going to at the end, after I'm done with this, you can do this to make sure everything's down really well. Do it, multiple times until you feel really good with it. I am not going to do that because I do have a needle felting machine. I am going to actually use it. And I'm going to get my use out of it, believe me. So I'll give you a final look of it like this. See if I can get it. It is a pretty long scarf. That's what it kind of looks like. That's it for this, and I will show you a picture of it finally done. The other side is going to be basically the same thing as this. Nothing really new in sharing with it. I'm going to do it the same way. So, thank you for watching.